Hey guys, it's Crafty here from Living in Beta, and in today's video we'll take a look at the vast, boundless in-game world of Starfield, touching on the immense exploration opportunities and the intricacies of its design. So let's suit up, open your mind, and let's explore the endless possibilities. Now, when I describe the game world, that is almost a redundant use of the word, as when it comes to Starfield, one world is just the start. The game itself boasts a massive 1,000 planets to explore across multiple systems, each with their own individual charm and unique possibilities. Bethesda were pretty clear here in their aim. They did not want to limit players too much on where they can go or what they can do, allowing the game to inadvertently create the foundations for player-specific stories that differ from person to person, whilst also offering the option to take part in the main quest as and when it feels right. The teams behind the game are also very specific on wanting to create a game that portrays wonder and majesty of game exploration, whilst hand in hand harping back to the romance of the golden age of early spaceflight. The enormity of this is echoed within Starfield's star map, this being your navigational tool when exploring the various systems residing in the galaxy. On a planetary level, you can choose a landing spot that is detailed on the planet itself for fast travel to known locations, whilst also taking in key information on the planet, which displays things like resource levels, temperature, atmosphere details, and even a section for traits, which I believe you might unlock when you explore or do more missions on the planet itself. From here you can zoom out further and take a closer look at the system, where more information can be found on planets that have key locations, missions, or even life on them. It's also important to note that there could also be planets that have resources on them or are quite resource heavy, but no signs of life necessarily. This also gives us as an option as a player the ability to set up outposts or do resource collection trips to help fund their exploration. Zooming out further allows you to see the galaxy. It's here that you start to really realize how big the game is from Bethesda, right? You know, they really wanted to achieve something massive. There's a multitude of systems, all housing planets light years away from each other, that you can only really plot a course to when you're ready or have the equipment to do so. The only blocker really, being time it takes to achieve that tech. I think this is unbelievable, and it's something that really starts to open your mind of what you can achieve in this game. Now, before we get lost in the vast amount of exploration shenanigans that the game has to offer, I think it's important to really appreciate what Bethesda has done here with their individual planets. The first thing that was evident in the showcase was how uniquely beautiful each biome looks. Lead lighting artist Keith Beltramini mentioned that it was really exciting to show off their next-gen lighting system, right, which allows for real-time global illumination, which essentially means they're lighting the world based on the type of star it's near and the makeup of the planet's atmosphere as a whole. This to me did a really good job of making you feel, both insignificant on a small planet in a large universe, but also grounded and intertwined with the atmosphere around you. You also mentioned things like the light itself is calculated in real time, taking into consideration the atmosphere and the surroundings, buildings and things like that, which really gives the game a cinematic feel. Even the fact they realistically simulate the galaxy around you, you can see the moon orbiting the planet, for example, adding that little bit of light there. That was really cool. Those little touches are going to go a long way of keeping you entranced within the game and adds to that escapism that we all hunger for as gamers. Another factor, of course, to the visuals in-game is the contents of the planets themselves. The base atmosphere was fueled by data from NASA and various other places that have been studied to help their approach on the planetary atmospheres, and also to where they place biomes depending on the planet's distance from the sun. Each planet's inhabitants, for example, as well, especially plants and animals, are built from extensive research and a want for more native wildlife, not just your typical alien kind of monsters. And then, of course, you have the buildings, vast, boundless buildings, in fact. I stole that from the showcase. Not that profound, but if we take New Atlantis, for example, the biggest city they have ever made, according to Angela Browder, production director for Starfield, not just big in size, but also in custom art, crowds, and quests. Within the city themselves, they apparently kept to one question and kept asking themselves this question. I believe this kind of goes for all structures in the game. What does this place do, or how does it support the telling of that particular planet story or that place's story? And they did this by trying to tell as many small stories as possible to help flesh out the world, which in turn really does add to the planet's overall atmosphere. you know, when you maneuver around it. It's just nice to see those little intricacies that make you feel like you're at home. And it's something that's very important, and I believe is missed by a lot of other RPGs out there. Considering Todd Howard mentioned in his interview with IGN that the game will still be able to do 4K on the Series X and 1440p on the Series S, but it's going to be locked at 30 frames per second like their previous games, I really do hope that it looks as crisp as it does in the showcase, right? I know they make a point of saying something along the lines of in-game footage is used here, but sometimes I feel like it's displayed in a cinematic way that, yeah, makes us enticed, but we never really get that in the end product. And if it is as crisp as it is, then I'm going to be doing my best in that photo mode to shoehorn my way into that Starfield Instagram community, you know? Follow us on Instagram. Lastly, when we think of the game world in a Bethesda RPG, our minds almost instantly go to exploration. Well, exploration and loot. Well, mostly loot, right? But Starfield brings this to a whole new level. There's a varying degree of exploration to be had, from individual planetary sandboxes, exploration offering the opportunity to collect resources, do side missions, stumble onto something unexpected. And then there's the large open space exploration, like literal space exploration, navigating asteroid fields on your way to exploring a new planet, dogfights springing from a chance encounter of a ship that pops up on your radar out of the blue, to exploring derelict ships, visiting space bases, rubbing elbows with the wealthy on pleasure ships, or even hailing other ships to arrange a date with your grandma. And of course, like every other Bethesda game, with exploration comes loot. And man, does Bethesda know how to do loot. Starfield maintains the classic loot and style of other Bethesda titles, allowing players to pick up the majority of what they see, viewable all in our inventory inside the data menu, where they really have packed a lot of detail into every object you can acquire. So much so that if you wish, you can create a horde of obtuse goodies akin to your own nature, you know, harping back to Skyrim where cabbages were a thing, and now we have sandwiches. Focus is as clear as it's ever been for Bethesda. There'll be lots of people to talk to, rewards for our curiosity, constant moments sidetracking us from our original aim, and even the opportunity to experience something completely different to a friend who may have visited the same planet as you. They want us to feel like explorers, it's clear here. Be mesmerized by the awe and wonders of space, embrace the fear of the unknown, what's around the corner, who knows. We'll have the freedom on a galactic level, and this can only be a good thing in my eyes. For so long, when you're exploring in Bethesda games, you're restricted to a continent or a country or a specific part of the map, but now we literally are able to explore the whole universe. 1,000 planets, mate. To me personally, it's hard not to get excited by this, right? 25 years in the making, 8 years since a big Bethesda IP, sorry, Fallout 76, and here we are at the precipice of what I believe is the start of a franchise that could easily take Bethesda games to a new level. I mean, let us know down in the comments what you're looking forward to the most from Starfield and your opinions of what you've seen today. We'd love to have your feedback down below. We'll definitely drop some comments down there as well. But for now, thank you very much for watching the video. Like the video if you liked it. Share with your friends and family. Subscribe for more content like this one. And remember, we are not alone.